Good morning and welcome. I'm Karen. This is Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot. Today is Sunday. Happy Sunday, all. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. This is our daily reading. I'm going to use the Somnia Tarot this morning. And give me a couple more shovels here. We'll take a look at what's going on. And keep in mind, these readings are for the collective, so take what resonates. And okay, current situation. Ooh, Five of Swords, that's a tough one. Present influence. Death. Future influence. Nine of Pentacles. Unexpected. What is that? Oh, that's the Knight of Wands. And what we don't see. Eight of Cups. Challenge is the Devil. Strength. Ace of Pentacles. Excuse me. We got Ace of Pentacles yesterday, I believe, didn't we? I think we got like 3 aces yesterday. Where does this lead? King of Swords. Queen of Pentacles. And Seven of Cups. Interesting. Advice. 10 of Cups. Wow. Interesting. 10 of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. Oh, and the Three of Swords following that. Those are two hard cards. You know, it almost makes me feel like that's what's over, but something has definitely come to a complete end. And Kitty's on his way strolling in here, so just so you're aware. How come that leans so far? Okay, there we go. So the 10 of Swords is about an ending, you know, a total end to something. It's interesting to me too, though, to see the Death card. Ugh, sorry, I forget about that. I can't lean down. I can't lean down, baby. Having the Death card there too in the present influence. So that feels a little bit to me like there is something over, but at the same time, things are changing. So the current situation is the Five of Swords, which, it can be about people fighting unfairly or something's not fair. Like someone trying to cheat or do something incorrect or something like that. Hold on just a second. Let me get him situated. Okay, sorry about that. So, oops, I was on the Five of Swords. So that is, you know, at the same time, I feel like there's a struggle here because that Five of Swords, are things not fair, or is it just a struggle, or does it feel like things aren't fair? But right now, that's where you're at. Like things don't feel fair, which makes it feel like a struggle. Like, how am I supposed to get out of this, or how am I supposed to deal with it if it's not fair, right? Like that. That's the way I'm feeling. Like it's almost frustrating. So if you're feeling like something's not fair or not, someone's not being honest or something, then how am I supposed to handle the situation? How am I supposed to move forward or move through it if I'm not getting all the information? And then the Death is in the present influence. And that is definitely, you know, change is happening. And I like this Death card because it shows that he's moving forward, which is important because well, just it's moving forward. It's good because, right, the changes are good. The changes are progressive. And then even having the Nine of Pentacles in the future influence feels good to me because that is a successful card regardless. It's also in this deck to me a lot about looking at what you have and what you've accomplished, not just having those accomplishments. It's actually looking at them and understanding them, which to me, again, sometimes we don't do that enough. You know, a lot of people, not everybody, we want to work, you know, we keep working for more and more, better, you know, it's, and sometimes it's okay to talk, you know, take a step and just say, okay, this is what I've done and this is what I've accomplished. And it's really good. Like, you know, even like on a weight loss journey where you're, you know, trying to lose, let's say your goal weight, you know, to lose 20 pounds and, you know, you get to that 10-pound mark and you get discouraged because maybe you're, you know, plateau or whatever. It's like that. It's like, okay, well, look at what you've done though. You know, it's not like you haven't done it. It's not like you're continuing to gain. You know, look at the progression instead of, you know, our goals should be out there. That's the way they should be. So anyway, that's what I feel like the Nine of Pentacles also is a reminder of. So let's clarify this. I'm going to clarify the death. Well, no, I'm going to clarify the Five of Swords first. I feel like the Death card is almost, well, it's the influence. The changes are influencing this situation where you feel stuck. So there is some kind of changes, but I do feel like they're heading in the right direction. There's some interesting cards here. I will say that. Now we had the Knight of Wands yesterday in our strength, I believe, and now it's in the unexpected. So there could be some kind of move or trip or, you know, something exciting happening here, or at least fun, if not exciting. Okay, tell me about this Five of Swords. 10 of Cups, 8 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. So, wow, interesting. And we got the 10 of Cups over here as advice too. So the 10 of Cups, 8 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. Like this situation is a relationship. Now, again, it feels like it could be pretty solid, but there's something here with that 8 of Wands. So 8 of Wands is about something coming in, messages, that could be anything, but sometimes I look at this 8 of Wands and I just envision that chandelier going back and forth and where you're just kind of hypnotized with it. You know, it's almost like 8 of Wands is not supposed to be a stagnant energy at all. It's normally a quick energy, fast, but to me this almost feels like watching a pendulum swing and not grabbing it. And it could be just that, because that's also part of the 8 of Wands is that energy comes in fast, you got to grab it. And if you don't, then you kind of miss out. But I feel like there's a feeling here of watching something, like you're watching something happen. The Knight of Pentacles is just this slow moving energy. And I feel like this is what, um, so the Five of Swords, right, is about, well, I feel like this is a struggle. And I feel like that 8 of Wands is like, okay, I got to grab that, but I'm tied back. And I think it's coming from a situation, probably a relationship of some sort, where it's just moving so slow that it has you feeling like you can't get to the end. Back to that 9 of Pentacles I was talking about. You know, there's progression, but it's kind of very slow, and then can also be a little bit frustrating, you know. um okay, so let's do the Death card. And what is the Death card in the future, or in the present influence? Oh boy, kitty cat, you're gonna drive me nuts. So okay, well, so what is the Death card? Get your butt down. Silly kitty. No, hold on a sec. I don't want him on the table. I can't focus. Okay, yeah, I can't focus with him on there. So let's see what the Death card is. I don't mind him sitting on my lap, but I don't want him on the table. What is this Death and present influence? Temperance, Page of Wands, 8 of Swords. So yeah, a feeling of, it's really weird to me, because the Page of Wands and the 8 of Swords are, they're over here. They're totally opposite energies. Like the 8 of Swords is being stuck, and the Page of Wands is just like moving without thinking too much. The Temperance is, I think, the balance for the two, and I think that's what's changing. So the change is if you've been one way or another, like either really, really not moving, or over, like, you know, tending to go all in and not like being prepared or thinking about the consequences. This Death card is that change to a more mutual feeling. So there's this more balance here, I feel like. I think that comes from you. I feel like you're going, okay, if you were feeling stuck, if I go all in and then you get disappointed, right? So maybe it's that like, okay, let's take this slow, but not stuck. And I feel like that's what this is. I think you're going from one to the other, where you're going, I've got to do this balanced. I've got to be more balanced in my actions here. So then we have the Nine of Pentacles, like I said. But this is definitely showing progression and showing success, because that's what the Nine of Pentacles is. It's success for hard work. And I feel like this change that you're working on is definitely working. It will work, and you will see that it works and that you're doing what you need to do. I'm not going to say the right thing. I feel like it's what you need to do to, make yourself feel better or reach your goals or whatever that is. What is this Nine of Pentacles, please? Chariot, Three of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. Like moving forward. Okay, yeah, you're seeing everything. So the Chariot is the forward movement. The Three of Wands is seeing what you have in front of you. And the Four of Pentacles is holding on to that. And that's what's going to happen in the near future. You're going to understand that you have done what you need to do. You've accomplished a lot. You can see that you've done the work with the Chariot, and now you are realizing, and it's kind of like a vote, like you're in a more confident position here in the near future. It's in the next few days, and it happens because of that Death card. Okay, that death influence is allowing you to see things better, and to realize that maybe going not so quick and not so slow will help you see things and work through things. You can't work through something if you're not doing anything at all. It's stuck. And if you're moving too fast, you're not being methodical about it enough to make a difference in maybe how you've done it in the past. So it's kind of that balance that's allowing you to feel this way. The Eight of Cups is in the what you don't see. There is something you're definitely walking away from, and I feel like this is you. A lot of times I see this this position as not you. Um, but I'm overall getting the feeling that it is, that what you're going through here is learning how to walk away from something that you've been attached to. Because I've got that devil up there in the challenge, and it's always hard to, when we're used to it's not just an addiction. When we're used to a certain way, or we're used to something in our life, it's hard to walk away from it. Even if it's not bad for you, right? It's just things have changed. And that can always be difficult. Tell me more about this Eight of Cups in the what we don't see. Ooh, Seven of Cups shows up, 10 of Wands, and the Death card. So yeah, like this is hard. Like there's choices here, and they've been really hard. You've been feeling a lot of burden here. Like it's been very heavy, hard, a lot of work. And yeah, the Death card. You're changing, you're growing. And you don't realize this. And that's part of what's making this hard. When we don't see that we are growing, or we just see things change, we don't realize it's actually growth. It can be frustrating. And so maybe these changes or whatever's happening here, because there's the Death cards twice now. And I feel like that's like saying a lot about, really going through some changes. This Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands kind of feels like, to me, there's definitely something that's coming in unexpected. So it's in the unexpected spot, and the Knight of Wands is a fast moving card in general. And it does feel like an energy coming in. So tell me more about this Knight of Wands, please. What is this Knight of Wands? What is this Knight of Wands? Okay, Star. Okay, Knight of Pentacles. Here, that Knight of Pentacles is going to something that you've been really hoping for, wishing for, is coming around, and it's something that you've been having to be very patient about. Now, this could definitely be travel. It could be moving too. There could be a sudden need to move, to relocate. It really could be. For some of you, it absolutely could be, because there is definitely changes. And again, there's that Ace of Pentacles in the Strength. So this new thing could really help you out here. It also could just be travel. With the Ten of Pentacles, though, it could be about work, about money. And maybe that's part of it, like maybe having to travel for work, or um, maybe doing something for a job where you have to travel, where you're going to make additional money, or it comes in. But this is something you've wanted with the star there. So it's just been moving slow. The Knight of Wands is the Knight of Pentacles, basically picking up speed here and throwing passion into something that's been very kind of stable. I feel like something's going to definitely um, change. And I don't like, it's not like the tower change where it's like slow to fast. Things you've been waiting, and then bam, everything's going to come in at once. And that's the way I feel like. Now, with this devil, I'm really not going to clarify it. I do feel like the challenge is this change. Now, I mean, you know, it's hard to overcome things that we're used to, whether it's a negative energy in your life or a positive energy or a negate energy, like really nothing, but it's a change. And when you have to say, okay, this is what I'm used to, and this is, the way my life's been kind of going, or my days have been going, this is gonna change, and it's gonna be hard, and I feel like that's what it is. And two, like the Ten of Swords, that's a, putting an end to something, regardless if it's been a positive thing in your life or a negative thing. Like I said, those are always hard. This is your strength, the Ace of Pentacles. Now, in some cases, you could see this as a discovery, but it's definitely a new beginning. So there's this like freedom feeling here. I mean, and it's definitely good for you. So whatever is new coming in might be really good. Now, it could be money. You might be getting some money. Where's the money coming from? Who knows? Um, but what is this? What is this Ace of Pentacles in the strength here? Four of Pentacles, something you've been holding on to, again, your dreams. So this is something that you've wanted. It's been in the plans. Four of Pentacles, you've been holding on to it. Star, your dreams. Two of Wands, this is something that you've definitely put into motion. So whatever is happening here, it's strength, because this is the way you've wanted it. It's with these cards, it's definitely the way you wanted it. Um, and it's happening, and that's your strength, and to understand that. So we have the King of Swords. I want to see what this is. Now, this is strange to me because then we have the Queen of Pentacles right next to it. It's really odd because those are very, well, they're not that different, I guess. Um, the Queen of Pentacles is looking at that king. You know how I am about the way the cards look. So the king is looking straight forward. This is where I want to go. This is exactly what I need to do. This is my, thought process. And here's that queen going, well, this is what I want. And I want to make sure everything's okay. It's almost like you're going from, okay, this is the direction I want to go into, to, okay, it's like settled. I don't know. Let's clarify that, king, because it also could be someone else. But I'm getting the overall feeling it's kind of like you having a direction finally. Knowing where you're going to go and how you're going to get there. All those good things. Like, having that direction is going to be really important. Tell me about the King of Swords, please. Okay, King of Swords. King of Wands, King of Swords. Page of Wands. This is a person, and I feel like that because the King of Wands clarified the King of Swords, and the King of Swords is there with the Page of Wands next to it. I have a feeling you'll be getting some kind of message from this king, this person. This person would be someone that maybe has brought passion into your life in the past. And I don't mean necessarily passion love-wise, but like motivation, passion, excitement. Could be coming from work. It could be a friend. And this doesn't have to be a male, but I feel like it's definitely a masculine energy. And the Page of Wands is that message. And I also feel like this could be that jump in kind of feeling. I'm going to jump all in. I'm going to go all in. And I do feel like this is coming from that other person, though. Like they might be going all in. I feel like that Queen of Pentacles next to it is like maybe assessing the situation. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles. Again, that's not necessarily a female, but I don't even feel like that's a masculine or feminine energy. I just feel like it's you, I think it's you assessing the situation. Again, I'm not getting an overall feeling of masculine or feminine. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles. Lovers, Three of Swords. Oh, you're taking a look at like, oh my, okay, wait. I was hurt in the past. This situation, this person has hurt me in the past. I feel like it's in the past because that's what you're looking at. And the Seven of Pentacles is you determining, like, is that what I really want? Is this what I want in my garden? Because once you build that garden, that Seven of Pentacles, that's yours. You can do with it as you please. You can put a fence around it and keep people out. You can let people in. And that's what I'm almost feeling like, is that you're determining. Now, there is a feeling here that you've been hurt in the past, and that's been your feeling for a while here as well with that Seven of Pentacles. But I don't feel like you're saying no. I feel like this Queen of Pentacles is looking at the situation and trying to determine the best way forward. And that's what you're going to do, because the realization is going to come in. This did not work before. Now, this doesn't have to be, a relationship as far as love, but it was a disappointment and it hurt. So someone hurt you and you're like, do I want to do this again? Do I really want to get hurt again? And sometimes, no matter what the situation is, once we realize we've been hurt, we're probably not going to get hurt again. The problem is that once someone hurts you, it's really hard to give your heart and soul to them back, because you're going to be on protective mode because you don't want to be hurt again. So there's a really big give and take there. And sometimes that's why it's not good, because if you're protecting your emotions, then you're not giving all your emotions either, right? So, and maybe that's something that you don't have to give all. If it's a relationship, you don't want to miss out on that, right? You want to give it all. But if it's like something else where it's work or something, that's fine. Seven of Pentacles is your choices. You're going to have a lot of choices here. I think it's basically more you looking and daydreaming about what could or could not be. I don't think this is going to be the super positive, because it feels more like fantasizing than choices. It's like being in your head. And instead of taking it as it is, whatever the situation is to you, it's like you're fantasizing about what you want it to be instead of just what it is. Tell me about the Seven of Cups, please. King of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and the World. You're wondering if this is like, this could be choices from being, it feels like there might be something with that King of Pentacles where, could be job or a stable person, or it could be an earth sign. But the Eight of Swords is that stuck energy, and the world is completing and reaching your goals. I feel like this is like almost you deciding what you want your goals to be. So I don't feel like, and like, yeah, that so maybe work, or it could be a relationship like love or something, but it feels also a lot like work, because we got so many pentacles here. That, do I really want this? And am I, or, and this could be something that ends that stagnant energy with the Eight of Swords, because you're going to have choices. I gotta pull more. I don't, where does it, this is just feels like it doesn't stop here, right? Tell me what is after the Seven of Cups, please. Okay, Knight of Swords. That's someone coming in. So I do feel like that's things moving forward. Tell me about the Seven or the Knight of Swords, please. Is there anything more? So this would be a little bit down, but I feel like that Seven of Cups is almost you in a position. It's not stagnant as like the Eight of Swords or even the Four of Cups. It's more, or Hangman. It feels to me like the choices are putting you in kind of in a stop place, not moving forward. Knight of Swords, please. Seven of Swords, Lovers. Yeah, the wheel there. Yeah, so something's coming back around. I feel like with the Seven of Swords to the Lovers, if you felt like something was kind of like iffy in the past with the situation, like maybe a little bit. I think there's something coming back here. When I say that, how I feel about the Seven of Swords is sometimes that something coming back to you taking back what's yours, and it has to do with a relationship of some sort. It doesn't have to be love. And the wheel is it's happening again. So this Knight of Swords is coming back around, and it's happening again. And it all goes back to all of those things, though, that you've been looking at and making that decision, knowing that you've been hurt in the past or disappointed with that Three of Swords. Know that it can be what you make it, and if it's the right thing, it'll be the right thing. The Ten of Cups is in your advice, and I think it's just really, are you willing to share everything? This Ten of Cups, the water's going back and forth between the cups, and it's like that sharing. Ten of Cups is about a relationship, a comforting relationship, a good relationship. And a relationship is always about give and take. One person needs another person, and you're giving back and forth constantly where it's not one sided. Because otherwise, one person's cups would be completely full and the other one would be completely empty. The idea of a good relationship is that you share when someone's cup is getting empty, you give to that, right? That's why it's constant. It's a constant give and take. And I feel like you just need to realize that going into this situation, whether it's work, love, home, anything, everything in human relationships is about give and take. You could only be around someone so long that's a drain, whether it's financially or emotionally or physically or whatever it is. If they're draining you, then it's hard to stay there. Now, so I'm going to stop for a second. There are times in relationships where one person can't. Someone becomes very ill, something like that, where, yeah, the stronger one gets completely drained before the other person can give back, if the other person ever can. And then it becomes then you have to deal with it differently. But that's different. It's like, on a day to day, a regular agreement in a relationship is that handshake of, this is what I expect from you, this is what you expect from me. Again, yeah, no, not love. We don't necessarily always do that. Sometimes we do, and it's actually not a bad idea. This is what I need in a relationship. This is what I need. Can we do that? And that's what I feel like is happening here. So, yeah, great reading. I hope you liked it. Let me know. Hit that thumbs up button. It does help. Take care. Have a beautiful day.